Hello everyone. In this webinar, we will learn feeding of a healthy term newborn. The objectives of this presentation are: why do we need to discuss the nutrition of a term healthy newborn? What are the available options and what is the best option? And among the best option, that is the breastfeeding, how do we ensure optimum breastfeeding of a term healthy newborn? What are the problems related to breastfeeding and how do we solve those problems? Then we summarize all the issues at the end of this discussion. Now, why feeding is so important in newborns or in the first 1 to 2 years of life? This slide shows the under 5 mortality, that is a death in children less than 5 years, that can be prevented by various interventions. On the x-axis, you have the percentage or the proportion of deaths that can be prevented with each one of the interventions, which is reflected on the y-axis. So, optimum breastfeeding, that is breastfeeding for 6 months and continued breastfeeding from 6 months to 2 years, can decrease under 5 mortality by 13%, and after 6 months, if breastfeeding is supplemented with complementary feeding, it will decrease another 6% of under 5 mortality. Now, why do we need to discuss about nutrition so much in healthy term newborn? In the newborn period or in the first few months of life, there is a huge demand. A newborn doubles his weight in the first 4 months and triples his weight in the first 1 year. The brain growth is maximum during the first 6 months of age. And we also know that what we feed establishes the gut microbiome. And the gut microbiome has a lot of effects on the baby, both immediate and long term. So, the high demand that baby has should match with the gut immaturity which the newborns have. So, we need to have a food which meets the demands and which overcomes the gut maturity. And we also need to have a food that also gives non-nutritive benefit to the newborn and the infant. So, what are the options for us? The options are breast milk or breastfeeding, express breast milk, donor human milk, and formula milk. Among these three, the best option is obviously breastfeeding or express breast milk. Breastfeeding for term healthy babies. Why breastfeeding? Because breast milk is best suited for the rapid growth. It is a calorie dense fluid. It has nearly 67 kilocalories per 100 ml. And it has a protein of 1.1 gram per 100 ml. It is also rich in fat, which is 4.4 gram per 100 ml. The lactulose, the carbohydrate, is nearly 7 gram per deciliter in the human milk, and this lactulose has glucose and galactose, and we know that galactose is an important component of brain development. Breast milk also has nucleotides, which is useful again for brain growth. And milk fat globules has plenty of phospholipids, and phospholipids are essential for brain growth. Also, breast milk is the best for gut health. These oligosaccharides are human specific, species specific, and individual specific. Now, the breast milk components are such that the high demand of the baby is overcome, or the breast milk overcomes the high demand as well as the gut immaturity of the healthy newborns. Breast milk is rich in whey, and the whey casein ratio of human milk is 80:20. So, this protein component is very good because it's easily digestible and forms less GERDs. The baby tolerates the whey dominant proteins. Breast milk also has high lactose, and the gut of the newborns have very high lactase levels at the end of the villi, which helps in easy absorption of the lactose, that is the main carbohydrate of human milk. Fat in the breast milk comes as milk fat globules, and milk fat globules are packaged fats with phospholipid layer on the top, and this phospholipid layer is useful for brain growth. And to ensure that the fats are well absorbed, the breast milk also has bile salt lipase, which helps easy absorption of the fat. Breast milk also has a lot of non-nutritive benefits. These benefits are short term, medium term, and long term. The short term benefits include decrease all cause mortality by 15 times in the first 5 months of age, and decrease in all cause mortality by 1.8 to 2 times from 6 months to 23 months of age of the infant, and it also decreases the infection related mortality by 8.7 times in the first 5 months of age and by 2 times from 6 months to 23 months of age. Infection related hospitalizations, mainly due to diarrhea and respiratory diseases, are also reduced. Nearly half of diarrheal episodes and one third of respiratory infections are reduced with optimum breastfeeding. Breastfed babies also have less of allergic rhinitis, less asthma, and less malocclusions of the deciduous teeth. Breastfed babies are also at less risk for overweight, obesity, and type 2 diabetes. The most important of all, in the long term, breastfed babies on an average have 2.6 IQ points higher than that is for the formula fed babies. So, breastfeeding is the most cost effective intervention with both short term, medium, and long term benefits. It has nutritive as well as non-nutritive benefits. The other non-nutritive benefits related to the mother are the mother who breastfeeds has less risk of breast cancer, ovarian cancers, and breastfed mothers also have less risk of having postpartum hemorrhage and postpartum psychosis. Breastfeeding also helps the society and the nation by saving lot of saving for the families, for the society, and also for the nation. A breastfed family or the breastfed mother spends less amount of money on the home formula milk. That saves money for the family. The moment the baby is born, the baby should be put onto the mother's tummy, and the baby automatically crawls to the mother's breast and starts sucking from the mother's breast. So breastfeeding should be initiated as early as possible within the first hour of birth, and preferably in the labor room or in the operation theatre itself. How long? Exclusive breastfeeding should be continued for the first 6 months, and continuing breastfeeding, that is complementing breastfeeding with supplementary food, or complementary food, should start from 6 months, and breastfeeding should continue for 2 years or beyond as decided by the baby and mother. And what is this exclusive breastfeeding? Exclusive breastfeeding means giving only mother's milk and no other food or drink, with the exception of syrups, drops of vitamins, minerals, and medicines. And these medicines are often mixed in the express based milk and given to the baby. The baby roots onto the breast by rooting reflex, and the rooting reflex is best promoted by touching the upper lip of the baby. The other two important reflex which will help in production and ejection of milk are the prolactin reflex and the ejection reflex or the oxytocin reflex. The prolactin reflex is produced when the baby starts suckling from the mother's breast. And this prolactin, which is secreted from the anterior pituitary, is helpful for the production of breast milk from the mother's breast. So when the baby suckles, the prolactin is secreted, and this prolactin helps in secretion of milk in the mother's breast. And whatever prolactin is secreted for one feed during a feed is going to be useful for production of milk for the subsequent feed. And the factors which help in improving the prolactin in the blood are sucking, expression of the milk, complete emptying of the breast, and promoting night feeding. And the factors which hinder the production of prolactin are inappropriate positioning, painful breast, giving prelactal feeds, and also promoting tough feeds. So we all should ensure that the milk production increases by promoting all the enhancing factors. However, sucking by baby is the most important stimulus for production and secretion of milk in the mother. So a baby, even if sucks from the mother's breast, the prolactin receptors in the breast will help, or in the nipple will help in production of prolactin from the anterior pituitary. Oxytocin reflex is mainly for ejection of milk. The milk that is secreted in the mother's breast because of prolactin reflex is secreted to the baby or ejected to the baby when the baby suckles from the mother's breast. So ejection reflex, that is the oxytocin, is the hormone that promotes milk ejection reflex. Oxytocin contracts the myoepithelial cells which are present in the alveoli, and this helps in secretion of milk from the mother's breast. And the factors which promote or enhance the production of oxytocin are mainly the behavioral things, or a bonding or a good emotional feeling of the mother. Whatever causes good emotional feeling of the mother are likely to enhance oxytocin reflex. Thinking of the baby, a sound of the baby, sight of the baby, a relaxed mother are likely to enhance production of oxytocin, but anything which is causing worry for the mother, anxiety, stress, pain, and low level of confidence in the mother are likely to hinder oxytocin reflex. Now, subsequently, the breastfeeding position and breastfeeding latching are very essential for improving the breastfeeding rates, both the exclusive breastfeeding rate and also continued breastfeeding rates. So, what do we mean by good positioning? Good positioning is how the baby is held by the mother. So, when the mother is holding the baby, as seen in the upper figure on the right side, the neck is straight, baby's body is close to the mother's body, baby is turned towards the mother's side, the whole body of the baby is supported by the mother, and there is a good eye contact between the baby and mother. All these 5 principles are well seen in the right upper figure, whereas all the 5 points are not followed in the lower figure. So there are different positions, all are good positions, but all will have the same 5 principles. Now coming to the latching technique, again latching has 5 important components. All the 5 components are important. Latching is how the baby's mouth is onto the mother's breast. So when we say good latching, as seen in figure A and B, the chin is touching the breast, mouth is wide open, more areola is visible above than below, lower lip is everted and turned outward, and when the baby is feeding from the mother's breast, there is no pain. Whereas in C and D, you can see the baby is sucking only the nipple and not the areola. You are able to see the chin is not touching the breast, and you can also see that the areola is visible both above and below, and the lip also is not everted. These are false techniques of latching. Both C and D are false technique, and these are likely to lead to sore nipples, decrease extraction of milk to the baby, and inappropriate or incomplete feeding, and also failure to thrive in the baby. In the latching technique, how the mother holds the breast to lead the baby to suckle from the mother's breast, the mother rests her fingers on her breast so that her first finger forms a support at the base of the breast. In the second figure, you can see an incorrect position where she is holding her breast too near and close to the nipple, and this is unlikely to lead to any milk ejection onto the baby's mouth. Now, but how do we assess the adequacy of breastfeeding? How do we know that the baby is getting adequate breast milk? So, there are some points which you have to evaluate the infant, and there are some points which you need to evaluate from the mother, which will tell you about the adequacy of breastfeeding. So, audible swallowing heard during feeding with the cheeks being full, alert, awake, calm baby between the feeds, diapers almost wet, and several stools per day. Baby gets an average of 20 to 30 grams per day after the first 3 to 5 days of her age. Mother's breasts are full before feeding and softer after feeding, and there is milk ejection reflex or a milk let down reflex from the opposite breast when the baby is feeding, are some of the clues or some of the points which will tell you that breastfeeding is adequate and the baby is getting adequate milk. So these are some of the important practical points which will help you to improve the breastfeeding rates. So we start with prenatal education, motivation of the mother and family, having a birth companion at birth, not doing any routine suctioning at the mouth at the delivery of the head, and defer checking birth weight and vitamin K administration for promoting early skin to skin contact or breast crawl and breastfeeding in the labor room or in the OT, and promoting breast crawl at birth and breastfeeding immediately after birth, promoting frequent breastfeeding and promoting night feeding at least 3 to 4 times in the night, and promoting the breastfeeding reflexes, that is rooting, prolactin and oxytocin reflex, promoting bedding in, rooming in, and not giving any pacifiers or prelactors. Apart from that, optimizing positioning and latching, support from the lactation counselors in difficult cases including primary gravida mothers or mothers who are undergoing C-section or mothers with low confidence, helping them, promoting demand feeding after left down reflex starts, that is after first few days of life, promoting demand feeding, encouraging at least 8 feeds per day, and encouraging complete breast emptying before switching from one breast to the other's breast are some of the methods to optimize breastfeeding or to get the correct breastfeeding between, and also to promote bonding between the baby and mother. Now we have seen the physiology, we have seen the skills, and we have seen how to promote optimization of breastfeeding.